Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm a second year PhD student at the University of York, and welcome to my poster on predictability effects on word meaning priming and incidental memory, where we'll be presenting two experiments that were supervised by Gareth Gaskell, Scott Kearney, and Matthew Mack. Research has shown that encountering a word in a sentential context that biases its interpretation towards a subordinate meaning leads to that meaning subsequently being more easily accessible. This so-called word meaning priming effect illustrates the malleability of word meanings. The episodic context account suggests that word meaning priming is supported by general episodic memory processes. If that is the case, then the strength of word meaning priming effects should be affected by factors that have previously been shown to affect learning in other episodic memory paradigms. Across two pre-registered online experiments, we tested whether the expectedness of a stimulus has an influence on the strength of the word meaning priming effect. Based on neurocognitive models of episodic memory, we hypothesized that both highly expected as well as highly unexpected words would lead to stronger word meaning priming effects, and that highly unexpected words would lead to better memory for incidental details of the context in which they were experienced compared to neutral or expected words. We ran two experiments with 80 participants each, and they were exposed to sentences ending with a target word whose interpretation is biased towards a subordinate aspect of its meaning by the preceding sentential context, and which differed in their relative expectedness according to three conditions: expected, where a strong prediction was confirmed; neutral, where there was no prediction; and unexpected, where a strong prediction was being violated by the target word. Participants were first exposed to the sentences and had to complete a small task to make sure they were paying attention and interpreting the sentences correctly. And then they completed two test phases to assess word meaning priming, relatedness judgments, and associate prediction, before moving on to two short incidental memory tests to probe memory for contextual details that they've previously been exposed to. In experiment 2, but not experiment 1, the target word was presented after a 1-second delay, which was then to enhance the opportunity for participants to predict the final word. And in both experiments, we compared the strength of word meaning priming effect and accuracy in the memory tests between the conditions. For the results, we saw significant word meaning priming effects in the relatedness judgments in both experiment 1 and experiment 2. Where all of the exposure conditions differed significantly from the unprimed conditions. So participants were both faster and more accurate in saying that a probe word was related to the target word if they've been exposed to it during the exposure phase, which is evidence of word meaning priming. However, there were no effects of expectedness in either experiment. For the associate prediction data, there were no word meaning priming or expectedness effects when the responses were normed by a group of raters using a continuous similarity scale. However, if the responses were normed by a experimenter who was blind to the condition of the items and were rated on a binary scale, we saw significant word meaning priming effects in experiment 2. But again, there no effect of expectedness. And finally, for the memory tasks, we saw above chance performance on the 2 AFC tests in all conditions in both experiments, but no effect of expectedness. And there were also no predictability effects on cued recall memory performance. So in conclusion, contrary to our hypotheses, while relatedness judgments for prime words did reveal subtle shifts in meaning dominance, there was no effect of expectedness and word meaning priming in either experiment. There were also no memory benefits for contextual details surrounding unexpected words, but 2 AFC performance was above chance in both experiments. So therefore, our findings suggest that predictability might not impact lexical semantic updating and incidental memory in our paradigm, but further work is currently underway to find out more. Thank you very much for your attention.